You want to fight over her?
Yeah.
Like want to arm wrestle?
'Cause we
Like
could fight.
it's something you just got to deal with.
Yeah.
Like she's my mom too.
Yeah.
So for any woman, any man out here who has been missing that parent figure, steal somebody else's father, steal somebody else's mom, make that person your. I remember my homeboy. I know him. We was arguing about the election the other day. My guy Terrence, his dad was my dad because none of us in the hood had a dad. Dang. Imagine nobody in the hood has a dad except for my best friend. Man, that's my dad. Give me your dad. He was my dad. Like he was a big dude. He'd just be sitting in the living room because he worked at night. So he be sitting around all day because he worked at night, just looking at the Bulls game, right? So I sit next to him and we both looking at the game. And my friend would be like, yo, let's go outside. Yeah. Wait till this game's over. Like I'm hanging out with my dad. I stole his dad from him. You know what I'm saying? So the thing about it is, as a man, as a woman, we aren't like given a full deck of cards. But there's another deck.
What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of It's Giving. I am your host, Sarah Fontenot, and if you have not yet, please hit that button below so you can get subscribed. Hit that little bell so you get a notification with each piece of content. Now, I have to tell you, you guys are a huge factor as to how this whole show is being curated, because every time you guys keep submitting questions and submitting videos and having very, very, very specific questions about specific things. So we figured, why not go out and add some professionals to the list, okay? We are joined today by an amazing man. Now, he is controversial. You might know him for ruffling some feathers, but he definitely stands on his truth. He's also a serial entrepreneur, coach, and speaker, okay? You've seen him on some massively large stages. Can we please give it up for Mr. Letko?
What's up, y'all? What's going
up?
on?
I realized I have your phone on my leg. I was like, oh, because we were
This
doing...
your phone.
This ain't my phone.
This ain't my phone.
Oh, this is Kenny's phone. I was like, wait, who's this beautiful lady? That's your girl? Just kidding. It's your girl.
It's your girl.
It's okay. I'll just keep it. No, I'm going to keep it. You don't need it. It's true. Hi, beautiful. Okay. Back to us. We ready? One thing about It's Giving is we just roll, okay? I was like, why do I have this on my leg? How did this happen? Because you showed me the picture of the frame. Yeah, you showed me the picture of the frame. Yes. Okay, so Aaron, I have to ask you, if this season of your life, and this is the second time you've been on the show, you are the second person to ever do a repeat episode.
Really?
In the history of It's Giving.
I feel special. Yeah. I did not know that.
It's kind of special.
Okay.
We don't really do, like we always talk about part 2, but it just seems to never really happen.
Okay.
So I have to ask you, if this season of your life were called It's Giving blank and you had to fill in the blank, what would it be called? And you have to say It's Giving.
It's giving clarity.
Break that down.
Where I am, and along with social media and really with the rest of the world, I think we are a little bit clearer on who loves us, who hates us, who the ops are, and who the people on our sides are. Right? There's a lot of things that have went on with men and women and with individuals in their own families, and because of the election and all these different things. We have a lot more clarity in who we need to be, who we need to not be, who we need to be around, who we need to pull away from, all these different things. So yeah, I think clarity is huge.
Yeah.
I got so much clarity in so many different things.
I love that. And I can definitely relate on the clarity aspect of things. I feel like God has just been pruning my life. And in a lot of ways, it's like really pouring into certain relationships. And in other ways, it's releasing others, and not even in like I can't stand this person, but in we're just going in different directions.
And it's okay.
Yeah. And I love that for us, I love that. So I have to ask you, because you are like the man that speaks to trauma. You are the man that helps women ultimately, even though I do think sometimes you can have kind of like a Kevin Samuels approach in the sense where you're very direct. And
I think Kevin Samuels got that from me.
Oh.
I was doing this before Kevin Samuels. Shout out to Kevin Samuels.
Oh.
So maybe because we all look on social media and we probably adopt certain things from different people without even knowing it. And I'm not saying Kevin Samuels did it. I'm being funny, but I don't think I got it from Kevin Samuels.
No, I don't think you did at all. But I do think your approach was similar.
Yes.
In the sense where it was very direct and could hurt some feelings.
Yes.
So what is the biggest message inside of what it is that you have to say? Like, what is the ultimate message? If you could say it in a sweet, fluffy way, what would you say?
We have to have boundaries. That's the first thing. But the cute, fluffy word would be acceptance. You accept that a person thinks a certain way, and you accept the fact that you don't want to be around that person, and you go this way. That's literally everything that I teach when it comes to coaching women. A lot of times women and men, but we're talking about women in particular, have attachments to dysfunctional people.
True.
Or simply people that think differently than them. So when you are able to accept that that person don't need to be in your life, they're not the ops, they're not the enemy, they're not terrible people. You're just accepting your differences. And now you have to set subtle boundaries with that person. Sometimes you got to set that boundary with your own mom.
Yeah.
You know, family members. You know, we going around family members in about a few weeks now, you know? So there's a lot of people that you're going to see Thanksgiving, Christmas or whatever. And that's probably going to be the first time you see them in a year. And that's okay. Hang out with them, have fun. But after Thanksgiving, they go their way and you go your way, and it's okay.
Yeah.
So boundaries and the acceptance of we just aren't the same, I think that's a beautiful thing.
What do you feel like is the gap? Like, why do people struggle to release others? Where does that come from?
The same word with different context. People want to be accepted. So they don't have acceptance that we're different and is okay. Instead, they want to be accepted by everybody. So they stay around this person. They stay around that person. They keep dealing with certain things that they don't want to deal with simply so they can be or feel accepted by everybody, because people have a problem with making enemies. I don't want to make enemies, but I don't have a problem if an enemy is made with my boundaries. Because the other side of that is one person that wants to be accepted and the other person doesn't want to be abandoned. So me setting boundaries can really piss the other person off.
Yeah.
Because now they're feeling abandoned by me or whoever's setting the boundaries.
Yeah.
So now the other person who just got a boundary set, they're upset with the person that is accepting them for them because they don't have access to that person.
Yeah.
So they don't feel accepted by them.
Yeah.
Even though that person is accepting them.
Yeah.
And now because they don't feel accepted, they're angry. Now that person is the ops. That person is the enemy. Now you just made an enemy by simply setting boundaries. But I, or the person, is simply, yo, I'm just accepting you for you. I love you. And because I love you, I can't be around you because I love me more than I love you. So my love for myself is causing you to hate me.
Ooh, that's a bar. You just said a lot.
Yeah.
I really hope it doesn't go over people's heads with what you just said, because literally, and I do think that there's a big, I call that a kind of like a people pleasing spirit.
Yes.
Like, and it's, you get to this space where you really want people to, you want to feel accepted. You want to be a part of something. You want to be connected, which is very human, by the way. It's very natural. And at the same time, everybody's not just, how do people even get to a place? Like for me, I am now in a place finally at this big age where, and it's been like this for a little while, but if you don't like me, you don't know me. Like if you
Wait,
if you don't like me, it's because you don't know me. You've made an assumption about me.
why? Why can't somebody just not like you?
Well, this is the thing. People that know me like me.
What if they don't like you and you think they like you?
I don't know those people. I don't hang out with people that don't like me.
Okay.
So it's like if you don't like me, you don't know me. There's no way, because you don't stay around the people that don't know, that don't like you.
Like I said, people like to be accepted by everybody, and people like to be included.
Yes.
So somebody,
I don't need that.
And I have no idea.
Where does that come from? Well, not where does it come
It's
from?
all
How do
the
you
same
beat
thing.
it? How do you beat that? How do you stop caring? I stopped caring.
It's attachment. See, I believe in
And a secure attachment style.
Right. I believe in detachment, not attachment. So my whole thing is I can be around somebody and be detached and be okay. And the detachment isn't a bad word. It's about the boundaries that I was just saying.
Yeah.
Right. Like, for example, I tell women that I coach to have something I call a detached observation. You can sleep with a dude, you can hang out with a dude, you can have a dude or at your house or whatever. As long as you have in your mind, I don't know this. So the thing about it is, I'm not going to ever tell a person what to do with their body. But keep in your mind, see, I tell people what to do with their minds, not their bodies. Because if you can detach yourself from the act, and some people can, go for it. But if you can't,
I can't.
Just understand, I don't know this dude.
Yeah.
So if you don't know him, why are you having sex with this person if you can't detach the act from the emotion?
I can't detach.
Right.
If we sleep together, we go together.
Yeah.
I was just having this conversation with one of my friends, and he was trying to, like, joking. He was saying, I don't understand why women are like, oh, we slept together, that means we go together. Like I'm like, that is me. I am that person. My body is directly correlated to trust and respect and appreciation and gratitude. Like it's all one. So the second that we cross that threshold, which is probably why I place sex at such a high value, because I know myself. Now, if I were a woman that was better at having casual sex, would I? Probably still no. But so this brings me to another question. Do you feel like it matters how long a woman makes a man wait?
Well, let me add something to what you just said, which goes right along with that. Do you think women who are more, I would say, liberated sexually, do they feel like they're stronger than you?
No, I think they feel weaker.
So I look at it like this. A woman that has literally detached herself from her body, that's kind of like what it is. When a woman could just sleep with this dude, sleep with that dude, and don't feel anything. That woman can perceive herself as being strong. But in my opinion, that woman is actually numb. So all of these strong women out here, I can do it myself. I don't need no man. I can sleep with a man without, feeling anything. Are you strong or are you numb?
Right. And is it an informed?
You're not numb.
No, I'm not numb.
Right.
I'm very in my body.
Right.
But I will say, is it an informed decision, or is it because of alcohol, because of low self-worth, because of low self-esteem? Like, if you are that woman, and I do think there are those women, they're just very rare and few and far in between, that actually feel great and liberated inside of sexual freedom. However, I think a lot more women try to say I'm sexually liberated as an excuse to be promiscuous, to be a hoe, to be in these streets and outside. I really do. I think that most women try to blanket it to make it okay. But the truth is, if it goes back to our nature, it's not natural for us to have all of these different men inside of our bodies. And it lowers our value. I don't care what anyone says. I really believe that being a promiscuous woman is an indirect correlation to the high value that you could have, that you're now surrendering, now changing the level of qualification for the certain type of man every woman says that they want. What do you think about that?
And it all goes back to what we were just talking about, acceptance. In my opinion, it's the people-pleasing nature of a woman.
Yeah.
and her accepting nature of being valued by a man or accepted by a man. And maybe, going back to your first question, what do I think about women waiting or taking a certain amount of time? A clock goes off in a man's head and a clock goes off in a woman's head. And to a certain degree, depending on who the man and the woman is, the dude is going to pull away if he hasn't had sex with her in a certain amount of time. And a woman may actually think something's wrong if they ain't even had sex with each other in a certain amount of time. In this world, women got to ask a dude, "Hey, you been with a man before? Are you gay? Or are you sleep with all these different women?" Because everybody's promiscuous and all this other stuff. So if a man and a woman would just started dating, right? And I would say after 3 months of talking, right? And they're kind of like going out or whatever. If neither person tried each other, both of them will be thinking something's wrong.
Yeah.
The man would be like, "Man, so is she into me or is she just using me? Like, we ain't did nothing." And she gonna be like, "Is this gay? Or like he ain't trying nothing." Because that's just the culture we're in, right? So what all of this can be looked at as is the need to be accepted. A man needs to get that to feel like she likes him. And a woman needs to be able to give that to him to make sure she understands that she's going to stick around because of that clock that goes off in a normal dude's head.
Yeah.
So both of them really want to have sex with each other, not just because of sex, because they want to feel accepted and not used or
it's far
felt like you're not the one.
It feels like it's obligatory.
Yes.
Like people feel obligated
on both sides.
Well, I didn't know it was for the men. I feel like for men, I feel like it's more just conquer. They want to conquer. But for women, I was having this conversation not too long ago, and she was talking about how, we're listening to this book, and in the book it was saying like, well, it doesn't even matter. We're listening to this book and it brought us into a very deep conversation about things. And then we started talking about how sometimes she feels guilty for not having sex with a man that she's dating. And by dating, that doesn't mean you're in a relationship. It means you're getting to know this man. And I was like, I don't understand that. Like, where does the guilt come in? Like what, like, so we're having like the deepest, a beautiful conversation about like, well, do you want, like, did you actually desire to give this man your body? And she was like, well, no, it's that he did a couple dates. Like, I feel like he deserves it. And that to me is the mindset inside of 2024 that is mind blowing to me, where people feel like, oh, because you took me on a couple dates, now I owe you my body. I can't.
And the guy feels the same way. The obligation to himself.
Yeah, because he's a man.
To himself, like to his ego.
Yeah.
Right? So the man feels obligated to sleep with this woman at a certain amount of time because his ego is going to start telling him like, bro,
she don't want me.
She don't want me. She don't want you. Any woman that ain't doing this and that matter, she don't want you. You know how dudes being, with little sunglasses on. Oh yeah, if a chick ain't did this, she don't want you, bro. Type. So altogether, men feel obligated and women feel obligated for different reasons. But there is somewhat of an obligatory aspect to people sleeping with each other. And I think it's crazy, And just with me in particular, I don't necessarily care. And this is just how my life is.
Yeah.
I don't care about nothing to a certain degree. Of course I care, kids, stuff like that. But I don't really care because the thing about it is I am not in control. And it's just the way I operate, the way I teach, the way I think. I'm not in control, right? So because I'm not in control, I don't feel entitled to anything. So if I'm taking a woman out and I'm dating a woman, I don't feel entitled to her body. I want it, but I don't feel entitled to it. I would like to earn it. But when that time comes to earn it, is there a bing like, you gonna get some? No, So the thing about it is, if she wants to have sex, I'm happy with that. But of course, if she never wants to have sex, I am going to be like, oh, she's not into me. I am human, but I don't have that hunger of, damn, why? Or I tried this, or I tried that, I said this. We throw out little subtle hints. She's not getting the hint. I'm not doing all that because I don't care.
Damn. So do you feel like
I do want it, but I don't care. It's two different things.
I mean, that's valid.
Yeah.
Do you feel like as a man with multiple options that you'll give up on the woman that's harder to conquer?
It's not about me conquering her. See, it's about,
or to satisfy your own ego.
No, it's not about that. There's plenty of women that will satisfy my ego.
That's what I'm saying.
It's about that particular woman. Do I want her?
Yeah.
Or do I want to satisfy my ego? It's two different situations. So if I'm dating a woman that I would like to satisfy my ego, because I'm human, I don't care, but I do have wants.
Right.
Because so is a difference. I don't want to sound like, well, you just said this. I have wants. But it's not this egotistical, oh, I gotta have it, right? So if I see a woman and I want to have sex with her, yeah, I'm gonna want to have sex with her, because in my mind, that's specifically why she's in my environment. I want her because of that. But if she's more intellectual, or she has certain things about her that makes me like, yo, I like her, I want her, or because it's always the intangibles that
what are the intangibles,
us.
Aaron?
Okay, how a woman laughs.
Oh,
what a woman's into. Like
how a woman laughs.
Oh yeah. How a woman laughs. What a woman's into.
Wow.
How she wears her hair. It's just a lot of different things. How she talks. How she walks. How she blinks. How she smiles. Like a woman blink in a certain kind of way. I have a dude like, yo.
What?
You never heard of a woman batting her eyelashes?
Yeah,
it's a thing.
But like
back in the cartoons, they used to have a woman sitting there like in Tom and Jerry or whatever, and the woman's like, and it looks sexy. So everything about a woman can be sexy, and it's not just about titties and ass.
Wow.
A woman's shoulders.
Yeah.
It's all these different things.
Shoulders?
Yeah. When I was in elementary school, before, I ever seen a woman naked, I can remember the first time I seen a girl with her shoulders exposed. I was like, oh, like there's something about me in particular. I need to date a woman where I can see her collarbone, just as an example.
You need to date a woman that you can see, where you can see her collarbone.
I don't need to see it, but it needs to be able to be seen if it's exposed. Because not a lot of meat up there. So it's little things. So the intangibles
Aaron, that is not intangible. That's very physical.
Okay, that is physical.
That's very tangible. That is physical.
But the thing about it is little things that makes a woman unique from other women. And that's the key. So many women out here spend so much energy trying to look like other women, act like other women, assimilate with other women. And it makes them less special. So my thing is the intangible is the uniqueness about your eyes, and I know that's tangible, about your actions, about how you think, about how you talk, about how you sound, about how you laugh, all these different things. So those are the big things. And some are tangibles and some are intangibles. But they're just bigger than just the typical body thing.
Do you think more women bring intangible things to a relationship than men? Or do you think it's even?
They have to.
I agree.
They have to.
Thank you for saying that.
We bring tangible things. Women bring intangible things.
I think we both bring both. But I do think that women bring more intangible things to the table, because naturally a woman in her feminine has different things than a man in his masculine has, especially when it comes to the intangible things.
Because women really ain't got to do in a relationship. Just bring your intangibles.
I mean, but that's
Men
a lot.
Men do have to do
But no, that's not true. We have to do a lot because the intangibles are harder. Working on your character is harder. Being emotionally regulated is harder. Making sure that you're speaking to a man in a certain way, making sure that you suppress the anger that you feel to make sure that you don't disrespect your man is much harder than being like, Negro, who you think you talking
I
to?
totally disagree.
You don't think it's hard to battle that's the hardest battle
Yes,
on
and
the planet is yourself.
I think that's one of the intangibles that I look for in a woman.
But it's still hard.
Think about
That's harder
this.
than going to work.
I disagree.
The work is easy.
Now, it's different types of women, so I can't disagree, but I'll just say this is my perspective on that.
Okay.
Because I understand what you're saying. I'm looking for, and a lot of other men are looking for, when those things aren't hard, because it's who she is. See, there's a difference between doing and being.
That's very true.
Right?
Embodiment versus
So if
intellectual.
you are this soulful woman and she's just laid back and somebody can wolf up out of her and she'll just be like, you know, she ain't going to say nothing back or whatever, because that's how she was raised. And that's the environments that she's always put herself in. She's not fighting any demons inside of her telling her to go off on this man or go off on this woman or to clap back at somebody or who you talking to or to emasculate a man. That's not who she is. Who she is. So that's one of the intangibles that I'm looking for. A woman that has a spirit of peace. You know how men be like, be my peace? No, be your peace. I want a peaceful woman in her own life. Don't bring it to me. You know why? Because I'm peaceful. I've had plenty of women that I've dated that get jealous of the peace that I have in my life.
Dang.
My kids are good. Not all, but some of their kids aren't. My ex-wife is good. My relationship with my ex-wife is like this. Some are not with their baby daddy, kid's father, ex-husband. You know, the relationship with my father is good. My mom passed away, but my relationship with my mom was amazing when she was alive. My relationship with my dad is amazing. Their relationship with their mom or dad isn't. So when they come around me and certain conversations come up, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, me and my ex-wife's like this. Oh, me and my kids are like this. Oh, me and my dad is like this. Me and my so-and-so is like that. And they just kind of like start looking at you like, so there's no issues, no drama, no nothing. Da-da-da. No. In their mind, they can easily feel, not saying what they do feel, but they can easily feel like when this dude meet my mama, the contrast between his life and my crazy family and my life, he gonna leave me alone. He's gonna pull away. He's gonna do this. And then she'll pull away because she's thinking I would pull away.
Yeah, I do think that some people need to deal with their trauma because trauma is like, yes, they get into a relationship.
So you can't act like or hold back or all those different things like, oh, I got to hold back my tongue.
Yeah.
I don't want you if you got to hold back your tongue.
But I will say, so trauma to me is like darkness, right? And sometimes when you are a light and you shine the brightness on the dark, it exposes what's in there.
Yes.
And everybody's not ready to be exposed.
They feel exposed.
Yeah, and then what they do is they fight back. They go into fight or flight, right? Like, oh, and now you're projecting and you're triggered because you haven't taken the time to deal with that trauma that happened. So I agree with you in there. And that being said, I am a very regulated person in my own self. I am peaceful in my own life. And I have to be honest, there have been times where friends, family, or my partner have absolutely frustrated me to a point where in my mind, I'm like, ooh, I'm cussing you out in my mind. Now, out of respect for you, I would never out of my mouth. I'm regulated enough not to be like, you bet that's not who I am. But I'm not going to say I haven't thought about it because one thing we can't control is our thoughts. Right now, I can choose how I respond to my thoughts. I can choose how I react to my thoughts, but I can't choose what my brain wires and fires.
Can I help you with that?
Yes.
There's something that controls our thoughts,
our experience, our perceptions, our vantage points, our biases, our beliefs. Yeah, all of that.
So think about this now. I have rules. I have a mode of operation,
Yes.
right? I have a set of principles that I can literally like put on a refrigerator where everybody can see, right? See, I believe in a man and a woman, a man bringing his system, right, that he's utilized in other environments that he knows works, not just I'm a man. No, you have a system that has worked with your sister, your mama. When you sit down with your mom, like, Mom, this is what we're going to do. You ain't doing this no more. I'm setting boundaries with you. And if you go over these boundaries, I'm going, whatever that system is, system of boundaries, a system of operation, you can put that on a refrigerator for everybody to see. And now you no longer have those thoughts of, oh, if he says one more thing, I'm gonna go off. Because what does the system say that's on the refrigerator about that thought? Like, for example, one of my principles is I don't attach myself to other people's problems.
Mm-hmm.
So say somebody that I care about has a problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's their problem.
Yes.
I'm not going to attach myself to their problem. So that means my lady is not going to have to hear me whining about their issue that is affecting me. Their issue can't affect me because my principle, my belief is going to literally stop that thought from ever happening.
I hear that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're going to have to agree to disagree.
Okay.
Because I so strongly feel like I have systems. Mm-hmm. We have systems.
But wouldn't your system stop you from interpreting something a certain way?
No, because different people bring different things out of you based on new experiences. So every relationship that you're in exposes something new about you. In the last relationship I was in, or even the relationship before that, it's a completely different Sarah than who I was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, or well, now those were 2 years ago, but you get what I'm saying. Over time, it's really relationships and marriage, which I think puts a magnifying glass on who you are and how you are. And sometimes you don't even know that you have certain traumas until you experience a new person because of the way that they do things.
I agree.
So when I'm triggered in a new way and I'm like, ooh, that hurt, that was uncomfortable, the automatic thought is defense, right?
That's the thing. That's the problem.
No, but that's the
automatic thought is
that's human.
Regulated by your own system of beliefs.
I agree, but this is what I'm saying. If you have an automatic thought, it's like if I hit you on the knee right here, it's gonna jerk because that's the automatic thing that happens. However, if you know that if you hit right here, your knee is gonna kick, you could learn to make sure, hey, when I sit down in this position, there's a thing that comes to hit my knee. I'm gonna make sure that my foot is strapped down so that it doesn't kick. Right. So my system is not to, because I feel like that's kind of dehumanizing to say I'm not going to think certain things because I do think certain things. I just don't operate on those thoughts.
So this is what I'm saying. Because I'm not going to get what you're saying. There's something that comes before the thought is what I'm saying. It's the interpretation. The reason why you have a particular thought of defending yourself is because you interpreted words or actions as something that can possibly hurt you. So if you change the way you interpret the outside world, you no longer have that thought. You'll have another thought. As an example, say you had an amazing life with pit bulls, Rottweilers. You have always had vicious dogs around you, right? I say was mauled by a pit bull or whatever, right? Or a Rottweiler. Me and you are jogging through a subdivision and we see this big old Rottweiler running at us. My interpretation of what's in front of me is danger. Your interpretation of what's in front of you is, I'm not going to say you want to go pick it up or pet it, but you're going to like, oh, wow, a Rottweiler, right? Do you see how our thoughts are totally different because of our interpretation?
I do, but I think that, and I agree with what you're saying, but I think before interpretation happens, which is based on your past experiences, which I agree with, your perceptions, your biases, your beliefs, all of that. Before that, there's human nature.
There's no human nature.
There is human nature. There's
the
absolutely
interpretation of your environment is the human nature.
No, that's your perception.
I'm not saying it's not human nature.
That's the perception that is turned into reality.
That's the human nature.
No, that is the
operation of the human nature.
That's different. But human nature is just human nature. We know that winter follows fall, fall follows summer, summer follows spring. We know that's the nature. It's of the planet, right? Or human nature. We know that if we touch something hot, we're going to get burned. Human nature, we operate in a way where we have to sleep in order to our cells to regenerate while we're sleeping. It's human nature for
but all of that changes depending on the interpretation of the environment.
So,
like, for example, somebody from a cold city interprets it being cold in Georgia differently than I interpret it being cold in Georgia.
Right, but that's
due to their experience, which changes their human nature.
Right, but I'm saying no, it doesn't change their human nature. It changes their experience, which changes their perception, which changes their reality. But before any of those three things, there's human nature. So human nature is automatic. It's our innate. It's instinctual. Like, we know if you don't have to tell a kid for whatever reason, if they see something that's going to hit them, they'll duck. Yeah. It's instinctual. It's not because they've been hit before. It's because it is instinctual for you to move out of the way. We know that if we grab something hot, it's human nature. Our body is going to do a thing where it sends off sensory to say, this is hot, drop it, drop it, drop it. So that's why we let go.
So it's
human nature.
Here's an issue. So there's nature over nurture. You ever heard that?
Absolutely.
None of us are nature over nurture. All of us are nurture over nature.
We're indoctrinated based on our experiences.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So I'm not saying there is not human nature.
Right.
But it don't matter no more because the nurture is overbearing over the nature. So it doesn't matter what our human nature is. It's what our human nurture is. How we was raised, how we were traumatized.
But that's all on top.
Going back, because let's bring it all back to what you were saying about how you or a woman or a man would have to regulate themselves to keep themselves from going off.
That's the interpretation.
Right. So the thing about it is there is a human nature of I don't like what this person is saying, I'm going to go off. But all of us have the nurture that has overran our nature. So now the focus has to be on the nurture and not the nature. So I'm not saying that nature isn't there.
Yeah.
The nature doesn't matter anymore because the nurture is overruling the nature.
We're definitely going to have to agree to disagree because and it's okay. Like, I don't want to spend
how we experience everything you said.
No, but
it overrules our nature.
No, I agree with you in this. I agree with the second half of what you're saying, but you can't overrule what is instinctual. And I think to overrule
everything
what
is overruled by everything else.
No, if you overrule what is instinctual, you are dehumanizing yourself and act. It's like delusion. It's a level of delusion to think that I could act this way and not get a certain result. And what I mean by that is
delusional.
No,
and is the nurture.
No, but I know that. So what I'm saying is, if I get into a situation where I am now, because let's be realistic, you get with a new person, they expose something new about yourself you didn't even know that you had. It is hurtful, or it brings up old memories. And now you've got to figure out how to deal and process what is actually happening inside of your body, right?
Yeah.
Now the interpretation.
Why is it going on inside of your body?
I'm just saying as an example. No, I'm not. I'm saying as an example. This is the thing that comes up. Whatever the sensories that go off to drop something hot, that is the thing that's happening inside of your body. I'm just using that as an example. So let's say the thing comes up, you're triggered in a new way based on a trauma that you didn't even remember that you had.
In a relationship, right?
Sure. Yeah. In a relationship with your mother, with your best friend, whoever. So when that happens and you get into a space where it's instinctual for you to duck when something comes hiding, or it's instinctual for you to block your face if something comes flying at you.
Words are different.
Let me finish. So when we get to that point where it is instinctual, now based on your interpretation, based on your experience, if you've had healthy relationships with people around and inside of your life, now I can say, ooh, that trigger didn't feel good. And not, I want to go off, because that is nurture. But in a sense to be like, ooh, that hurts. Now, depending on your experience and your perception and your beliefs, that hurts could be, let me go off. That hurts could be, I need to protect myself. That hurts could be, Negro, you got me jacked up. That hurts could be, oh my God, I'm going to cry. That hurts could be, oh, I'm so excited. I learned something new. That hurt. That's what we're
Mhm.
interpreting, the hurt. But the hurt to something new that you didn't know was there, a wound that was touched you didn't know you had, is human nature for you to respond in a way. Now, based on how you interpret the wound, oh my God, I have this new wound. For me, it's my filter or my interpretation is I want a healthy relationship. I don't feel the need to raise my voice. I don't feel the need to disrespect my man. I don't feel the need to emasculate him. I don't feel the need to do any of that. But in that moment, ouch, that really hurt.
So let me say this. I have another principle called tell me more.
I love that principle.
So say somebody comes to my comment, you're a narcissist,
Yeah.
you're a misogynist,
Yeah.
you're whatever, right? I just say, why do you think I'm a misogynist? And they never is able to
Do you think you're a misogynist?
No.
Okay.
So but see, a lot of women would interpret my words as misogynist or misogyny simply because of their nurture on top of their nature that have literally took over their lives because of how their mom treated them, how their father treated them,
it's
how other men treated
avoiding
them,
accountability,
right? So they can turn around and see me because I'll say something like yo, women need to sit down somewhere, like stop, right? That's not being misogynistic.
Yeah.
But somebody may interpret that as being misogynistic.
Right.
And here's the acceptance.
Yeah.
I don't get mad at that person for responding to what I said negatively because that's their reality. It's not mine. And that's when the boundaries are separated because I'm like, oh, you're over there and I'm over here.
Yeah.
So now I can understand a woman's nature and nurture by how she responds to certain environments, right? Or certain words or certain things or whatever. We could be looking at a movie.
Yeah.
It could be like, oh, see, men like that, I can't, or women like this, we'll just run it, you like, oh. So you think this is right instead of that. Oh. So that's how you observe, because I brought up detached observation, right?
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want to do with another person, but never let go of the observation factor.
Yeah.
Right? You can do whatever, but never stop observing the person, right?
Yeah.
So you look at a movie or you're out somewhere and some drunk dude starts trying to flirt with you or whatever. Observe instead of like, oh my God, get off me. No, let the drunk dude get all over you and just watch the dude that you're on a date with. And you're like, is this nigga gonna help me?
Right.
What? And give him time to help you.
Yeah.
Just be like, hello. And if he don't help you, now you're like, all right, get away from me, right? Now you're like, oh, you're or something like that. So now, but if you did not allow something to happen and didn't sat back and observe the person, detached observation, you would miss an opportunity to see what that person's nature or nurture is. Because he probably was raised, oh, I don't get in nobody's business, even if the woman is with me. Or I don't want, you know what I'm saying? So the thing about it is the intangibles are learned by observation because they're intangible.
I agree.
It's not a big booty that you can see, right?
You
have to listen to a person. You have to hear a person. Because I think listening to somebody and hearing them is different. Seeing that person. And once you're able to observe everything about that person, you'll be like, yo, I can see that person as somebody that I would like to love. Because people fall in love with each other due to the fact that they no longer are observing the other person. They just want to fall in love because they're in love with love.
Yep.
But people like me choose to love a person after a certain amount of time of detached observation. I don't know you. We can do whatever together. We go to another country together. I still don't know you know?
Yes.
So once I make a choice to love you, to me, loving is knowing, because loving is about protection.
I agree.
And I can't protect somebody that I don't know.
Yeah.
So to me, loving is knowing.
I love that. And I love that you said intangibles are observed. They're learned. Like they say, they're caught, not taught.
Yes.
Right. The intangibles. And that makes me actually think of my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom is one of the most incredible people on the planet. I'm not even just going to say women. My dad is amazing too. But in this case, I want to ask you a question, and then I want to talk about a game that I know that you have. That how do you feel like women that didn't get a chance to see their mother with the intangibles, with the nurturing or the caring or the loving or the cooing, or when they have to be assertive but not aggressive, right? Like there's definitely a way to be a woman, and a feminine woman. There's definitely a way about being a feminine woman. My question is, how do you feel like women that didn't have that experience, that didn't have the auntie or the mother or the grandmother or really any woman in their life to represent what it means to be feminine, where do they get it from?
Steal somebody's mother. I'm serious.
My mom is Auntie Pam to everybody, so I get it.
I stole one of my ex's mothers. Steal somebody's mother. It's really that simple.
What?
So, for example, say a woman had a terrible upbringing. Her mother was this, or she was adopted, or whatever. Everything was terrible in her life, right? And there's never been a woman that really seemed to care about her. But she has this best friend, and she has the most beautiful, amazing mother in the world. Steal her mom. My ex's mom, it was one point where, because I mean ex from like childhood ex.
Okay.
Her mom has been in my life until then.
Wow.
She's not like all around all the time, but yeah, she was always mom. My second mom, right?
What?
And it wasn't because my mom was
hot
bad.
if my mama was just friends with one of my exes like that.
Well, like, okay, she was my secondary mom.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, mom, I check on her every now and then, right?
Okay.
But when my mom passed, there was a void, right? And I was like, right after my mom passed is when my divorce happened, right? So I attached myself back to her, right? And she was my mom, and she gave me that feeling that my mom gave me. She didn't replace my mom, but she was,
maternal figure.
Yeah, she was a maternal figure. So for a woman, so in other words, I know how it feels to steal somebody's mom.
Yeah.
So my ex came to Atlanta because she doesn't live here, and my mom hit me up like, your baby mama's here. Just a joke, right?
About her daughter?
Right. She's not my baby mama.
Hilarious.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
And I went over there and we hanging out or whatever. And then my ex was like, I don't understand. And I was like, what do you mean? How have you been a part of this family for all of these years?
That's my question.
We ain't been together since like, I don't know how long ago.
Yeah.
Before I got married, everything. Way before I got married.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's my mom. It's like, she's my mom.
Right. And I'm not sharing.
I'm like, you want to fight over her?
Yeah.
Like want to arm wrestle? Like,
fight.
It's something you just got to deal with.
Yeah.
Like, she's my mom too.
Yeah.
So for any woman, any man out here who has been missing that parent figure, steal somebody else's father, steal somebody else's mom, make that person I remember my homeboy, I know him. We was arguing about the election the other day. My guy Terrence, his dad was my dad because none of us in the hood had a dad. Dang. Imagine nobody in the hood has a dad except for my best friend. Man, that's my dad. Give me your dad. He was my dad. Like, he was a big dude. He'd just be sitting in the living room because he worked at night. So he'd be sitting around all day because he worked at night, just looking at the Bulls game, right? So I sit next to him and we both looking at the game. And my friend would be like, yo, let's go outside. Yeah. Wait till this game's over. Like, I'm hanging out with my dad. I stole his dad from him. You know what I'm saying? So the thing about it is, as a man, as a woman, we aren't like given a full deck of cards. But there's another deck, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, change your deck of cards to a deck of Uno cards.
Yeah.
And hit yourself with a reverse.
Yeah.
Or change.
Pick up 4.
Yeah.
Wild card.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like change the color.
Yeah.
Change the amount of cards that's in your deck.
Yeah.
So yeah, steal somebody else's parent and make that person yours. And now you have a dad. You have a loving mom.
You know, I feel like with even, well, it's kind of like my friends. I find myself with my friends being my mother.
What? Elaborate.
Like, I feel like it's actually really funny. So, you know, because you've been a part of the Country Wayne skits, right? And so we shoot on different locations. And my mom used to always say these things, like, if there's paper towel, don't take off, you know, people just be ripping off 5 things of paper towel. And it's like, yo, take 1 square. You don't need 5. This is wasteful.
I literally do the same thing.
And
I
so,
rip the paper towel in 4 pieces.
Oh man,
I literally do the same
you
thing.
better than me. I just take like the half one, you know, like because you know the big one is cut into like halves. So I'm like, hey guys, just so you know, like 1 piece of paper towel. Or it's little things like if you put your food in the microwave, cover your food. You should like cover and to be, my mom used to say this stuff to me. And so now I find myself on set with you know, they're my family. Like that's my family on set while we shoot. Now we ride or die in this joint. But I do find myself being like my mom. I'm very much like
motherly.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Being somebody's mom is bad, or being somebody's mom is good. So it's 2 different things.
Yeah.
Because I father people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the thing about it is, you have to know your boundaries.
Yes.
I'm not, like, for example, I dated a woman, and perfect example. This was me fathering her, right? We was talking on the phone. I
don't want to mom the people I date.
I get it. But a man has to father the women that they date.
Really?
Yes. You're either going to mother the man, or the man is going to father you in every relationship.
Whoa. I want to hear this story, but you have to break this down.
Okay. All right. So this is an example of me fathering a woman that I'm dating.
Yeah.
We're on the phone. She's in Target or something, right? And some young girl walks up to her and tries to give her a piece of paper. I don't know what it is because I'm on the phone. She's like, hey, here you go. And she's like, oh, whoa. What's that? What's happening? She said, this is a girl trying to give me some paper. Don't take it. Why?
Because people are.
Do not take the paper.
Yeah.
She's like, why? What'd I just say? So she walks away because now she's arguing in front of a little girl.
Yeah.
She walks away from the girl. She's like, what is wrong with you? What do you mean? She was just trying to give me a flyer. And I said, don't take it.
Right.
Why? I said, because it could be fentanyl on that piece of paper.
Yeah.
And there may be traffickers waiting outside with you, you know, for you to go to your car.
Yeah.
She's like, see, you are way too much. Oh, detached observation. You think I'm way too much. Oh, I don't get mad at her. I'm like, okay, you're not my person. And then she went on even farther. See, I ain't one of them little women you be coaching. I'm not one of your little students that you can just tell what to do. Oh.
Ooh.
I'm not one of your little, you know how when a black person says somebody's little.
Yeah.
Oh. You're not my person. So I literally said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you back to your daddy. And what I need you to do is just share this conversation with your dad. And if you want to, let me know what he says. If you don't, cool. But can you do that for me? She don't even know what's going on. I literally just cut her off, and I'm sending her back to her daddy. She was like, what? And I was like, can you do that for me? Just whenever you want to, call your dad and let me know. Bye. Click. And then she called me back the next day. No. She doesn't understand what I just did. It's over. I sent you back to your daddy.
Because you don't want to father her. So you don't want to father her.
No. she doesn't want to be fathered.
She wants to mother?
I don't know. I don't care. But the bottom line is, it goes back to the acceptance.
Yeah.
I need a woman to accept what I'm saying.
Yes.
At least hear it out.
Yeah.
Don't argue with it.
Yeah.
Because just like the whole paper towel thing.
Yeah.
If I go in the kitchen and grab paper towels and you're like, whoa, rip it in half. Who you think you talking to? Don't be that. Would you look at me like I'm crazy?
I would.
I would be like, all right, cool. Because it makes sense.
Yes.
Acceptance.
Yes.
So the thing about it is, going back to your question, either a man is going to father the woman or the same woman is going to father the man.
Mother the man.
Oh, mother the man.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. So you have to understand where you want to be in that dynamic.
Father me.
Right. And it goes back to something that people get mad at me when I say is women are children. And it's not meant to make you feel like you're this and you're that, but it puts you in your place as a woman, because it goes back to what I'm just saying. If you don't realize that you are a child, and you don't have to say it out loud, you don't have to admit it, but there's an inner child in you that would love to come out and play, would love to just be themselves. But because you're this independent, I don't need this, that, I got it. No, that's not what a woman is supposed to do. Enjoy allowing your inner child to just come out and play and be themselves. Women are whole children. You see how women are acting after the election? They literally, they falling all over the place. Be that. Be sad. Be happy. Skip around. Be a little girl. Enjoy allowing your inner child to come out and play.
Now I get what you're saying.
Because of that, and you embrace that, guess what happens after that? You now would seek a man to father you, and you would literally ignore the mothering side of you, because the thing about it is, if you're going to either be the mother to a man or be the daughter to a man, you're either going to mother the man, or the man is either going to father you. If you see yourself as your inner child, and you embrace your inner child, you don't even have to say, I'm a child. I'm embracing my inner child. It'll make you feel better. It sounds better. Guess what? You'll then start looking for a man that has the capability to father you, to regulate you. Because fathering is regulation. It's not do as you're told.
I'm understanding the terms now. I think I needed clarity on the terms, but now I get what you're saying.
Well, think about this. Your father is in your life, right?
Yes.
When you get married, your father is going to hand you off
to another man. Yeah.
That is, I'm giving this man my blessing to continue fathering you like I was. That's literally what it means. It's take over the duties of my fathering. That's literally what a wedding is. It's a ceremony of stepping down from being your father and another man becoming your father.
Dang. I mean, I can understand the way that you're saying it. I'm like, I mean,
one of my daughters
I don't like the terms.
Has a father because she's married.
I don't love the terms, but I understand what you're saying, because I say this all the time, especially for a high value feminine woman. We are seeking certainty. We are seeking a man that knows who he is, a man that's grounded in his purpose, because ultimately that means we are grounded.
Yes.
Because women are flow, right? So I get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying. That's the first time I ever heard it like that, though. Good job.
And the thing about it is, I don't care how women interpret that.
Yeah, because you know who you are.
Because I know who I am, and I know that they are.
Ultimately,
been through experiences, and I accept them saying, "Oh my God, that's crazy." Let it be crazy.
Yeah,
but
they're in their
how is crazy been working for you for the last 20 years?
Right.
But if you come over here,
right,
which is peace, which is understanding, which is certain principles that I have, and adopt my principles. Now, tell me more. Don't attach yourself to other people's problems. And now you're like, damn, that makes a lot of sense. So for anybody who's looking at me like, oh, that's crazy, that's misogynistic, saying women are children, that's your interpretation of my perspective, and you're welcome to have that. But like I said, how has that been working for you for the last 20, 30 years?
Sheesh, Aaron, we are over time, and I feel like we just did a part 2 and need a whole part 3.
Yeah.
But I have one more question to ask you. This was so good.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a look into, masculinity, femininity, trauma, response, like how we're responding to things that are going on in our lives. Like we really talked about a lot of deep stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like we can keep going for hours and hours and hours, but we don't have the time, and I wish that we did. So the final question is, here at It's Giving, and you've been asked this question before, we are believers in growth and evolution. And one of the most amazing ways to do that is by reading or listening to books. So what book has changed your life and why?
One, I want to say 2 books.
Okay.
Because I'm always looking at the women watching.
Okay.
So my book that changed my life is a book called How to Win Friends and Influence
People.
Others.
Dale Carnegie.
Dale Carnegie.
Great
right?
book.
When I get a ticket or I get pulled over, I think like Dale Carnegie.
Me too.
Because he has an example in his book, right? And I almost never get a ticket.
Yeah.
Literally because I give the officer all the power.
Yep.
I turn on a dome light, give him the power, and I'm like, yo, man, you got me.
Yeah.
Instead of like, why you pull me over?
Yeah.
You just give it to them, right? Because when the police officer feels like they're in charge, they no longer have to show you.
They don't have to
they're
assert.
In charge, right? By giving you a ticket. So if you give them a feeling of being in charge, they no longer have to give you the ticket, because the ticket is actually a symbol of I'm in charge.
Yes.
Right. And the second book.
Can I just say that's such a powerful feminine hack for relationships, women in relationships?
Yes.
Give the man the power and he will not abuse it.
Well, remember I said I'm not in control.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I'm so peaceful.
Yeah.
Because I'm not in charge either. Remember,
the
principles on the refrigerator is in charge.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah.
The principles are in charge.
Yes.
God is in charge.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And the second book is Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. That book was life-changing because it really brought out a different perspective of adult children of emotionally immature parents, which is our parents.
Woo.
And what that actually gave me an understanding, how I came out with my mother-daughter card game.
Let's see it.
I don't know where the camera is.
Which one are we at? This one? Let's do this one. Yeah.
So my mother-daughter card game is a part of what I learned from adult women, I forgot the name of it. Parents, adult, whatever. Thank you. Adult children of emotionally immature parents. This card game helps you, the daughter, understand how important it is to get an understanding of the fact that your mother may have had an emotionally immature parent. So therefore, your mother is now an emotionally immature parent.
Nice.
And you, if you don't, understand these things, you could turn around and end up being an emotionally immature parent.
Yeah. And a lot of the times people don't even understand their emotions or how they're feeling. And so I'm not going to share what's in here because you did bless me and my mother with one of these decks. And I was asking her the questions while we were heading to the airport, and she was asking, or really she was asking me questions. And I like that there is something in there that really helps you to identify, how do you feel?
How do you feel?
How do you express this? What word could I use? Or et cetera, et cetera. And I don't want to get too much into it because I really think that you guys guys should check this out. But just to break down the back, it says the first game for mothers and daughters, like mother, like daughter card game. I am just like my mother. It is wild. Give mothers and daughters a chance to have intimate discussions about things that may have been on your mind for years. The goal is to become more open, receptive, and understanding of each other's experiences as mothers and daughters. Some mothers want to be seen as actual human beings with needs and wants of her own, and not just mothers. Some daughters would love for their mothers to see them as autonomous individuals, and not many moms. This game is about helping the other person be seen, heard, appreciated, and understood. And I can honestly say, even in the half hour that we were asking these questions, it created such deeper discussions, no pun intended. But I bought that game, the deeper discussion card game, but it does create deeper discussions around, upbringing, around, I actually remember there was one question, and it was something along the lines of, did my mom ever experience grief that would have allowed her not to be as attentive? And my mom's answer was like, no, I don't think I was ever not there for you. And I was like, Mom, of course there were times where you were less attentive to me. No parent could say that the answer to this question is no. Because we're human and we're distracted. And then we started talking about, and that led to like a really cool conversation. And so she was like, oh, and I said, I don't think you've ever neglected me, which is very different from just not being as attentive. But to be a human means sometimes I squirrel.
The priority is different.
Yes.
And you see in that question, I made it a point not to say ignore or neglect.
Yes.
I said not as attentive.
Yes.
So it won't trigger your mom.
Yes. It was really a powerful.
Because if it was, when did you neglect me?
Yeah.
Now mom feels attacked.
Yes.
Right.
So it was good. And I like it because we were giggling in the car, talking about these different stories, stuff around Christmas time. Oh, do you remember this? And it just allowed us to be very nostalgic.
Yes.
And really take that road down memory lane. So that was, this game is really cool. So I definitely appreciate it. Guys, we're going to connect the link below if you're interested in getting the mother-daughter card game. It's literally like therapy in a box. You get to ask all the questions that you may not have even known that you need to ask, or the conversation you didn't know you needed to have. So,
and the coolest part of this particular card game, the only card game on the market that you can use that will bring you and your mom together, or you and your daughter together, is in your situation, your mom lives somewhere else. There's a mother deck and there's a daughter deck. So she was able to bring the mother deck home with her. And you kept the daughter deck. So now y'all can play over the phone or online, right? So, because in a lot of cases, mom doesn't live with the daughter.
Right.
So you can buy this card game, pull out mom's card game, and ship it to her if she lives in another state.
I love that. And I love it. This was great. This whole episode was fire.
Thank you.
And I also love that we can have a healthy debate.
Oh, yeah.
Because we had a solid, healthy debate on here, and we can agree to agree to disagree, or disagree to disagree, or whatever it is. But I'm really grateful for you, Aaron. I just continue to see you win and soar and make a difference and a huge ripple inside of the changes that are coming. So thank you for being that pillar. Thank you for being willing to cannonball into life.
Yes.
And we really enjoyed you. And guys, if you are home listening or watching, thank you so much for being a part. If you have not yet, please hit that button below so you can get subscribed. Hit that little bell so you get a notification with each new piece of content. We are always doing our best to bring our best. And if no one has told you today, you are freaking phenomenal. Bomb.com. Nothing can stop you but you. But you got to do something about it. Love you guys. Bye.